Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Koto Games Summoners Wars Pro in the making. Today we're gonna be discussing the secrets behind Giants B10. And just to let you know, remember that as soon as you start this game, you need to aim for Giants B10 as fast as possible. That will be the main goal because if you want to be competitive in this game, you need to beat Giants B10 consistently. The swift runs are on giants, and the higher the level you play, the more the possibilities for you to get a better run. And getting runs is actually a matter of consistency. It doesn't matter how many hours you play, you need to play it consistently every day, at least 1 or 2 hours, for you to be able to get the runes that you need. At the beginning of the game, all of the runes you have, they will be good runes, but as you advance on the game, you need to have overwhelming runes to be able to be at the competitive level. So basically, you need to work on monsters that will be support monsters at the beginning of the game that will help you clear Giants B10. If you have seen my videos by now, you will see that Bernard and Shannon and Konamiya and Bella, these monsters, they don't need to be 6-star for them to be able to clear Giants B10. And the only thing, just talking about the Giants directly, what you need to do to make sure you clear the Giants is that as a beginner, you need to have attack buff, defense buff, you need to have a cleanser, and you need to have a healer. Also, this cleanser as Konamiya is going to be a backup healer. And if you add, for example, if you add Darien to the equation, then Darien is going to reduce the damage that you take. So you having defense break, having also the attack reduction power from Darien is gonna help you a lot, and there is no reason for you to fail on this dungeon. Now remember that as a beginner, you need to be tanky to be able to clear this dungeon. So by being tanky, I mean that at least you need to power up the runes at least to +9 or +12 or +12 as needed. So after you go with these monsters and you go to the boss, everyone on the team is going to be making a huge impact on getting the stage cleared. For example, Bernard is a wing monster that will increase the attack speed on your team, and by increasing the attack speed, that will make sure that you will have more moves than the enemy. And as you move, the faster you're gonna be clearing the waves, and the faster that you're gonna be killing the boss as well, because you're gonna be taking more turns. Then Bernard also will increase the attack bar with the attack speed increase. And the Bernard attack power, it's proportionate to the maximum speed that he has, and with the speed buff, then it's gonna be dealing a little bit more damage. Now remember that Bernard needs to be built with the speed, HP, swift, anything as fast as possible. And also Bernard with the second skill, Bernard is going to be decreasing the defense and decreasing the attack power of the target that he is going to hit. So when you get to the boss, and when you get to the waves, as a beginner, it is imperative that you first of all you kill the crystals. And after you kill the cluster, then you will be able to kill the golems really easy. Now the most dangerous part of giants is the crystal as a beginner. And as you move on the game and you improve the runes, you can auto this with basically almost any team. Now, reducing the attack power is very important because the boss at the boss stage is going to deal huge amount of damage. And if you reduce the attack power on the boss and you also have the defense break from Shannon, or in this case on the video Megan, then he's not gonna be dealing any damage. Also, Konami is going to cleanse, so whenever he puts on you the defense debuff, then Konami is going to cleanse you, and by having the cleanse, you make sure you don't die. And also, this defense buff and this attack power decrease that we put with either with Darion or Bernard, it's something that is going to help you a lot. Now Megan is very cool for this dungeon as well because she's going to be dealing the continuous damage, and the continuous damage will deal 5% of the boss HP. So that's gonna help you a lot. Now Bella, it's something that is something that I said that is mandatory for first cleaners of Giants B10 because Bella will remove the attack power buff that the boss receives from the tower. And by reducing the attack buff, the attack power, and in removing the attack buff, and you having defense power as well, then there's no reason for this team to fail or anything to fail with this. Now you are able to see that they were able to clear it without Veramos. Now as you move on the game, Veramos is going to be a better cleanser than Konamiya because basically anytime that Veramos moves, it's going to be a time in which he's going to be cleansing. He's going to be clearing a harmful effect on you. And that harmful effect will obviously be the defense break. And we need to make sure that we do not have the defense break at any time into ourselves. So once you move along the game, we need to make sure that we will be dealing more damage to the enemy. And now that we have a cleanser, we can remove Konamiya from here, and we can also just put this one as a leader to get a leader skill that is going to benefit all of the monsters. And by having Beramos as a leader, it's gonna be a 33% HP for all of the guys on the team, and even Darion that is a 5-star, and even Megan that is a 5-star is gonna be benefiting from that. With the previous leader skill, it was only Bernard that was getting the benefit of the damage. Now this one is going to be a little bit faster because Beramos on the way to the boss is going to be stunning. It is also very good. I recommend to have Shannon instead of Megan, but I had my Shannon and I made a video with my Shannon as a 5-star. She was able to clear Giants B10 with some other guys, but I used my Shannon to 6-star something. I don't even remember what it was, but I 6-star something with my Shannon because that is what these monsters are intended for. You can have, for example, Darian as a 5-star, Bernard as a 5-star, and Konami as a 5-star, and those monsters, Shannon as a 5-star, then you have 4 monsters. Those monsters as a 5-stars, they can help you clear the dungeons, and they will be useful. And they are really easy to build, and they are farmable. You can get them from anywhere, basically. Darian is the only one that you need to wait a little bit longer because you need to wait for the light date to be able to get him. Now, when you have these monsters as a 5-stars and it comes to free room removal, and there's some monster that you want to 6-star so badly, you just need to strip these monsters and just make a Rainbow Moon 4-star max, make it a 5-star, and then you're gonna be able to make a 6-star really easy and really fast. And you know, as a beginner, you need to get a 6-star as fast as possible. So these monsters will help you getting a 6-star right away, and then you will be able to build these monsters really easy during the week. You can take less than a week to build these monsters, and as they level up themselves, they will be able to help you with the Giants level that you're already clearing. Just need to put the runes on them, and they are gonna be helping you right away. And it's really easy to max up the skills again, so you can go ahead and do that as well. In the future, you're gonna be finding better replacement for those monsters, and as you move on the game, what you need to do, that is the secret of Giants B10, is that you need to take out one support and add a damage dealer. It is better to have a damage dealer that will be a wind monster, because a damage dealer being a wind monster into the Giants B10 that is a water is going to have the elemental advantage. And by having the elemental advantage, that means that you don't need to worry too much about the critical rate on the build, because it's going to be getting an additional 15% critical rate. And you can focus on the damage, on the attack power that you put on the runes, and you can also focus on the critical damage as well, and on the speed. So then you just move on the game and you add another damage dealer. And as you move on the game, let's say for example that you fuse Sigmarus, and by fusing Sigmarus, then Sigmarus is going to be a damage dealer that you can use on the Giants B10 team and also on the Dragons B10 team. So as you can see here, there's no need for anything to happen. Megan and Beramos, they are putting dots on the boss. As you begin on the game and you fuse Beramos, you don't need to worry about too much about the speed of your monsters, because Beramos is going to clear the giant with just the continuous damage. The continuous damage again is going to be 5% of the monster's max HP. And at this moment, he has 4 continuous damage. So that means that he's going to be taking 20% of his max HP the next time he moves, if he's able to move again. So it's really easy to clear this dungeon with Veramos and with farmable monsters. And now that we know how we can clear this dungeon, what we're gonna do now is that we are going to put extra damage to make sure that we can go ahead and work this out right away. Now now that we can see that we can clear, and if you were able to see my videos before, you know that you can clear this dungeon with these 3 guys easily, just having the 3 of them. So now when you move again on the game, let's go ahead and put Sigmarus on the game, because we're moving on progressively as we progress in the game, and we're gonna use Sigmarus lead. That will be 44% of the HP, and as we are really sure that we are able to clear it with more damage dealer, we're gonna remove 3 supports from the game, and we're gonna be removing Darion, Megan, and Beladion, and we're gonna be adding 2 more damage dealers. These are damage dealers that you can get as you play the game. You will be getting many monsters, and the more you play, the more damage that you will be getting. And let's say that you are on a guild and you are farming glory points, and you are going to fuse Theomars. So you get Theomars, and you put Theomars as another damage dealer on the game to be able to clear it. Now, something that we need to take into consideration is that your damage dealers, they really need to deal damage, because what makes the Giants run faster is the way that you deal damage. And Sigmarus is really amazing for this task, because Sigmarus on the first skill is going to stun the enemy anytime. On the second skill is going to freeze and is going to deal a ton amount of damage. And on the third skill is an AoE damage that is going to be dealing damage proportionate to the max HP of the enemy. So basically Sigmarus is really helpful by clearing this dungeon in the fast way. My Sigmarus is not built with a lot of damage, it's just having a set of runes that is the leftover runes. But even so, he's dealing decent amount of damage, and as you can see, we're right into the mini boss, and it didn't take a long time. Something that is imperative to clear this dungeon as well, it's making sure that you are able to defense break the monsters. And if you cannot defense break, then you can also make sure that you have damage dealers that will be really hitting really hard, and also having damage dealers that will be able to ignore the defense, like Lucians. Now we're at the boss stage, and the only thing that we need to do here is just to hit the boss. You see that is going to decrease the attack power on the boss. We make sure we stay alive for another turn, and we move fast enough to make sure that we are not going to be killed before the boss is killed. And that speed buff from Bernard is also something that helps a lot. Now, this is the stage of the game in which you say that you are in the early mid game. Now, the next stage of the game, when you move to late mid game, it's going to be when you can remove all support monsters and just go for the damage. And that's what we're gonna see now. So in this next stage, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna be removing any support that we have on this list, and we're gonna add damage dealers. We are gonna have one support that we can build later on when we are on late game. You can build Galleon as a damage dealer, but at this time it's gonna be just like a support, but it's going to be supporting the damage to be dealt. So here we go, and now it's gonna be with the Theomar's lead to get additional 24% critical rate, and Galleon is going to decrease the defense, and then Lucians will be killing everything, and then Sigmarus as well is gonna be dealing a lot of damage. Speed. This is what people say like a speed run, and a speed run is really important in the game, because if you are, for example, if you're at work and you have a break and you want to play some Giants runs, then You go ahead and you put the speed team, and within 15 minutes you can play it. If you can play, for example, uh, 14 to 13, 14 times because of the animations and because of the time that it takes for the battle to start. So um, everything comes into play when you play a speed team. So you need to make sure that you clear the waves as fast as possible, and you need to have outstanding runs to be able to make a speed run. I'm working on my speed team, and I'm able to clear this dungeon within 41 seconds. But I actually don't like to have a speed team because having a speed team sometimes requires you to be at the game the whole time. And I don't want to be at the game the whole time. I want to play the game and I want to watch an anime, I want to watch a movie, I want to be doing something else, because when you're going to have to run giants for a couple of hours, let's say for example 3 to 4 hours, you don't want to be at the game the whole time. And being at the game the whole time, it really mess up with everything else that you have to do. And my team, also my speed teams, is not that reliable. It's like a 92% reliability on that team. And when the RNG wants you to lose, you're gonna lose. So what I actually do, this is the team that I actually run, and this is the team that I get the most time when I played it. I go um, Theomar's lead, Galleon. I also go Delusions, and I also go with the Water Homunculus. Now, this team clears it really, really fast. And I use my homunculus on this one, and I also use it on my Dragon's B10 team. And I don't want to skill up the last skill, because with the last skill, he's going to be dealing an amazing amount of damage. And sometimes it does 45 to 50k damage, and one time it did even 63,000 damage on the boss. And that's something that really helps me a lot. And having the homunculus in this build that I have, that is violent revenge, I make sure that when Galleon does the defense break, I make sure that everything is killed as fast as possible. And that's what we want, to get this done as fast as possible, because what's gonna make the run faster is the time that you spend on the waves before the boss. Because at the boss it's gonna be a single target damage. And as long as you defense break the boss, and as long as you hit a critical hit, it's gonna be really, really fast to clear the dungeon. Now, this team is actually really cool, but my second Lucian is not max skilled, and it takes a long time for the amputation to be back again, and sometimes I die. It really depends on the RNG. As I said before, it's a 92% reliability on the team. So I decided to do something different today, and I decided to put another guy that is going to be a support on the team, and the run is going to be a little bit slower, but it's not that slow. And I've been grinding giants for the whole day, and I'm trying to get runes for tomorrow. That will be the free run removal. And what I'm doing now is that I'm using this team, and I've been farming for the last 3 hours with this team, and they have only failed once. And this team is actually really reliable. And I'm also going to see. I also put this Amarna into my Necro V10 team because he's really, really good for Necro. Now I need to skill him up. He doesn't have any skill up whatsoever. I really liked him before the buff, because he used to heal in proportion to his attack power, and the heal that I had, it was about 5,000 heal every turn. So it was amazing when he violent proc. It was having a Naman that didn't need to hit a crit. It was just having a Naman that was supposed to be there, and that's it. So I really like Amarna now, and this Amarna helps me getting, in case that Galleon doesn't defense break the boss, Amarna gets the opportunity to defense break the boss on the first turn as well. And also, this Amarna is going to be putting a branding effect on the boss, and with that branding effect, it is very likely that the battle is going to be ending really, really soon. And if anything happens, like the RNG, anything happens that I'm going to die, Amarna is the perfect reviver, because it's going to be reviving all of the guys on the team that are dead, and then he's gonna be healing a little bit of that. So this team is the one that I'm using now because it's more reliable. I get everything done within, let's say within 1 minute, 1 minute 10 seconds, and sometimes below the minute. And as I said before, I want reliability because the I want the dungeon to be cleared, and I want to be able to do something else. In 1 minute 16, it's more than enough, and I keep doing that until I'm able to get a really fast and reliable Giants B10 team. So when I'm going to play the game, I can be there and make sure that I play, let's say, for example, 10 runs within 5 minutes, within 7 minutes, something like that. When I have the runs that are like 29 to 30 seconds, that will be amazing because I can say I'm gonna do 1 or 2 refills and then I can go ahead and do something else besides playing the game. At the moment, I need to play the game by not being there because that's taking a huge amount of my time. Right now, let's go ahead and look at the runes. And today's Friday is the day before rune removal, and this is Theomars that is on Violent Shield. And he's on Violent Shield because I wanted to balance all of my monsters' runes. And if you need to see the runes at any time, remember you can pause the video. I'm gonna do this quick because the video is taking actually a long time already. And this Theomars, I use Theomars everywhere. He's my best damage dealers at this time. I wish he had more critical rate, but I'm waiting for this for the rate to drop me a critical rate change, so that way I can put some critical rate in here and I can put some critical rate in here as well. And after I do that, then my Vermos is gonna be actually close to the perfect Vermos. And I really like him being on Swift because sometimes when I play with Chesuns on the arena, Chesuns will hit Theomars, and I don't want Chesun to go ahead and reduce the HP because if there's another Theomars on arena defense, then they are gonna be hitting the target that has the less HP. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on. Here's Sigmarus. And remember, the build will be always attack, damage, attack for the damage dealers. Theomars and speed base scaled monsters are the exception. Remember, if you need to watch to see the runes, just pause the video. And I hope I don't miss any monster. Here's Galleon. I need Galleon to move before everybody else. You can put any damage dealers, for example, even Stella you can put on the list. And it's gonna be really easy to clear Giants B10 after you know what you're doing. And what you need to take into consideration at first, remember that you need to have full support to be able to clear it. You can go ahead and look at the videos of the guides of how to Giants B10 that I have on my channel. And this was just a little reminder that what you need the most at first is to put an attack break on the boss, to put a defense break on the boss, and where is it? Here's the illusion. To put a defense break on the boss, and as you move on, you can remove one for every support monster that you remove from the team is a damage dealer that needs to be added. The illusions are really good for these dungeons because they have this AoE skill that is going to ignore defense, and by having that skill, then you get faster to the boss. And after you're at the boss, it doesn't matter if it is a single target or if it is an AoE. So just make sure that your damage dealers are built at least with 150 critical damage and at least with 65 or more critical rate. And the more attack power they have, the better. And if you don't have your damage dealers fast enough, then you can always bring Bernard, so that way Bernard will increase the attack bar and the speed, and that way they will be able to move right away. Here's a Marna. Marna is really good now after the buff. I really need to skill him up, but I'm thinking to build him as a damage dealer because I'm using him on my Necro team. And when I had it before the buff, I had him on speed, attack, and it was really nice. He was dealing decent amount of damage, not something out of the ordinary, but it was a decent amount of damage. Now, which other monster? This one is the monster that we use as well. And ideally, you want to have Megan on Swift Will, so that way you can go into the arena and you can fight against the Leos. And here's the last one. Alright, these are just leftover runes that I may be putting these runes later on into my arena defense and another monster for stall defense at the end of the rush hour. And this is my new toy. Alright, now guys, um if you like this video and if you stay this long, I really thank you very much for that. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe for more content. And also remember that if you need any request on any monster spotlight, any reviews, just let me know. If I don't have the monster, I will have somebody that has the monster, and then we can review the monster, we can talk about it. Now, so far I do thank you very much for watching this video. It took a little bit longer than expected, but by now you know the secrets behind Giants B10. Just make sure at first that you have defense buff, that you are tanky, and that you put the attack break on the boss, and also that you can remove the attack buff on the boss at first and be tanky. Then you just go ahead and put Veramos, and Veramos is going to kill it with continuous damage. And as you move on the game, then you just remove a damage dealer. You remove a support and you add a damage dealer. You remove a support and you add a damage dealer. And later by later, you will be moving on the game, and you will know when exactly you are getting to the mid game, to the early mid game, and then when you get to the late mid game. And honestly, I do thank you again very much for watching. And guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. See you the next time.